I have no clue what I'm watching. Where's the good stuff? I was hoping for sneaking on the Xbox. Who remembers Sonic Generations? I barely remember. This game was a big anniversary celebration of Sonic up until that point, being a great showcase of combining 3D Sonic and 2D Sonic in a game that embraces its history, but now it's old. That's a two-way street. Now the million-dollar question is, how can we bring this game up to date with a new anniversary celebration? That's right, the answer is obvious. We include the same old game, but include a Shadow side game to promote the Sonic 3 movie. Well, that was unexpected. Sonic X Shadow Generations, or at least that's what the name tag says, is a game to celebrate Shadow and remaster Sonic Generations to be played on newer consoles. Now, I am aware that I've already tackled this before, but when I go to look back, I cringe every time. With the original game releasing in 2011, this game was to promote the big 20th anniversary that was happening at the time, bringing classic Sonic from the 2D games and bringing him with his modern counterpart. And the game overall is a masterpiece. Everything feels smooth to control, the stage selection was fairly solid, and the game does not get repetitive at all. It tackles every bit of Sonic's past by gradually going from the first stage he ever appeared in to Sonic Colors. Me playing this game back then, I always prefer to play modern Sonic. I was not too much of a fan of classic Sonic, but now I've come to appreciate both. Now, the gameplay overall consists of 3 sections with the stages itself. We can complete these in any way we want to. Now, overall, however, even with the additional changes, it's short in comparison to the 2 previous Sonic games. Sure, it's infinitely replayable with how the levels are designed, but 9 levels with 4 bosses, and 3 of them are existing bosses from before, it can be pretty short. Now, the remaster, on the other hand, is exactly the same. I have to give them props for not completely ruining this remaster like Sonic Colors Ultimate, but Sonic Generations Remastered is a faithful remaster to the original. But when first seeing this, I was thinking, this has got to have some sort of awesome changes like ray tracing, updated graphics, or even expanded content to include newer games. No, it's all the same game all over again. Literally everything is identical, even down to the bugs that the original game had is even here. If you even count this as new content being added, there's the drop dash from Sonic Mania because Sonic didn't have a special move like Tails or Knuckles, but the problem is that both Sonics have this, not just classic Sonic. At that point, it feels forced onto us. There have been many times where I had accidentally used a drop dash as modern Sonic when trying to home attack. And the controls are also changed too. It still feels good in every way, but they had to change the default controls to what Sonic Frontiers had, and I kept doing the wrong moves. Even classic Sonic had these changed to match Sonic Frontiers. Luckily, we can change it back, but I find this very annoying. And with that all aside, this is still a solid game. Everything had been upscaled visually and up the frame rate to 60 FPS on the newer consoles while keeping the core gameplay untouched. Sure, this can easily be brushed off as only a way to play this game on PS5 and Nintendo Switch, but I see this as a warranted release. The game has so much potential, and like I was saying, you could play this for days or even months. But is this really worth complaining about? Yes. Really, no. This has all what the game had to offer originally, just on a newer game console. Now, that game was only half of the story. I can't just ramble on about the same 3 things over and over, so how does Shadow Generations do? Shadow Generations, or also known as Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Whenever I take a look at this collection, I feel like I'm looking at Super Mario 3D World Remaster, but this one includes a second anniversary collection, but going through the games that feature Shadow. Even though the concept is the same, the game itself is very different. Before, we had a 2D hub world to go through, only letting you go from level to level. Now we have a full 3D hub world with various different things to do and explore. Having a completely different moveset controls properly following Sonic Frontiers better, and finally getting special abilities like the Doom Surf and Doom Wing. Honestly, this was looking to be a masterpiece. What do you take me for, an idiot? There are quite a bit of issues with this though. The levels are more cinematic rather than fast-paced action, so they have cutscenes that play every single time you play, and it can get old fast. And the game still tries to follow Sonic Generations a bit too closely, so the requirements to get keys from bosses is higher, having to get 2 keys and complete 4 challenge stages per stage. And some of the stages are not that good of a selection either. We have 2 stages from Sonic Adventure 2, and of course we have Sonic 06, Sonic Heroes, and DLC for Sonic 3 movie, but Sonic Forces and Sonic Frontiers just had to be included. These are just far out there. Shadow was only DLC in Sonic Forces and never appeared in Sonic Frontiers at all. Now, how does this compare to last time? It's kind of like I'm expecting what's happening next, but it also tests my nerves. I mean, since I've already completed both games, I kept wanting to do a perfectionist run and just see how fast I completed a level. Both games are really good, and with them being bundled as a remaster and a brand new game makes this a no-brainer. There had not really been anything else releasing after this game since. It felt like this is just a one-and-done game. I get a weird feeling of concern and indigestion when looking at this game. I don't remember that in there. You could already play Sonic Generations on the Xbox Series X and PC if you already bought it. My experience both times was outstanding, playing from the start for the third time on PS5 and another on PC, and there were no points where it felt like it overstayed its welcome. Look, I always get nostalgic for Sonic Generations on the PS3 because that's what I've been playing the most. Now the true question is, would I go back to this game after playing it this time around? No, probably not.